And we are live with game two of the grand finals after the Poppies held an incredible lead for the early game. Forsaken struck back with a vengeance and pulled out a massive turnaround victory to take game one. But now, ball is in their court here as they look to secure game two. Meanwhile, Poppies pull out a Raijin and look to go off to a great start for game two, if at all possible, and bring it to a full series.
Yeah, Forsaken has to feel pretty good about a lot of things they did, especially what they allowed Jermaine to do. And they're going to go right back to it, giving Jermaine the Hou Yi that he so dominantly performed on last game. Now, Poppies do have a pretty good start with the Raijin pick. That's going to allow for Warchi to do what he likes to do best, and that is deal out damage. And who better to do it than Raijin? But they still need to follow through pretty strongly, way more strongly than they did the last couple of games.
We need to see the dual lane adjust a lot in this game. They need to be able to deal with the fact that Jermaine can put out insane pressure, and now with Bacchus at his side as well, that's a lot of power potential for Jermaine this game around, and we could see him take off from the beginning of this game, unless the Poppies have some kind of plan in mind this time around.
Meanwhile, over on the side of the Poppies, they're going to be deciding on their next two picks. It could be the priority support as well as a jungler if they feel like they need to get something specifically for their team composition, or they could end up going for an AD carry to ensure that they give Perilla something that he feels confident in. And I was going to say Rama would be the more than likely suggestion, as Athena is going to be locked in as well.
Athena, a pretty good powerhouse, and Rama, the champion we saw Perilla absolutely go off on earlier today. So this time around, we should see him on something he's a lot more comfortable with. He looked very uncomfortable on her in the last game, so interested to see if he will do a lot better on this ROM here. Meanwhile, Mogao once again gets his cover pick of Odin, and I think we can just kind of guess he'll play that every game that's available at this point.
He's just such a strong character. Low cooldown ultimate is going to absolutely devastate certain team fights. And as you can already see, Poppies only have 3 of their picks, but already all of them most of them can't get out of an Odin cage very easily. If anything, some of them can stall. Now, Athena is going to mitigate a lot of that, especially on the Rama with her ultimate, but it's just still not going to be an easy task. Wheelix is going to be banned out by Forsaken, and Humbot's banned out by the Poppies. So a lot of assassins being taken off the table here.
They don't want to even give any kind of a risk towards Dalo here, as Dalo had a pretty standout performance on Awilish, and has for some time. So, especially with Mogao valuing the Odin, Bacchus being picked up here, there's too many threats there's too many people that are threatened by Awilish here, and they don't want to deal with it at all. So, Awilish, a very smart ban out from Forsaken, I feel.
All right, so the decision is being made, and the Poppies are going to go with, the Zeus ban, and something to make sure that they don't have a repeat of last game. Zeus was held down quite decisively last game, but they don't want to give it to chance and allow for Forsaken to take that Odin pick and far excel over what he could have done if he had not given up those first few kills. So Forsaken still deciding on their first pick. They have the jungler and the mid lane to decide on. There's a few things that can do well against Raijin, and it looks like they're putting their biscuits all into the Scylla basket.
I like this one, honestly, for Tins right here. Tins got bullied a ton last game. Scylla is a lot safer than, Zeus was by far, and will deal quite a bit of damage here. Tins also was fairly solid at hitting his skill shots there, so that's no real doubt for him, and I think he'll do pretty solid on a Scylla here.
Scylla is a character that, again, as we mentioned, skill reliant, but it does have room for error, and with no pull mechanic, only depending on the Bacchus belly flop to securely land an ultimate, you're in for a tough time if Bacchus can't land those. So Poppies, on the other hand, is going to highlight a couple of options, and all of the ones that they are highlighting are pretty good, and they're going to settle for a Nuwa Nemesis.
I'm gonna guess this Nuwa actually will be played by Alex MC in one of those oddball roles, or we'll see a Raijin. Either way, it's gonna be one of the two mages here. Now Forsaken have a chance. They're hovering on a Serket as their possible jungle here. Brings a lot of damage to the table and some good mobility. And I could definitely see that one being locked in here as a nice way to set up Scylla. And there we go, Serket locked in as a setup.
So I understand the Nuwa pick pretty well, just because you have that CC Immune ultimate that allows you to get out of the Odin Ring of Spears fairly easily. And then on top of that, you're still a very strong character in the solo lane as Nuwa. Nuwa is an underrated character in a lot of aspects, and the consistent damage she can put out can be very devastating. But with Serket being the last pick on the side of Forsaken, again, just that backline harass that Forsaken has on their side is going to be so difficult to deal with on the side of Poppies. They're really depending on Nemesis to distract the attention of a lot of these characters on the side of Forsaken. Now, Hou Yi is the best AD carry we've seen on Jermaine today, and Rama is the best AD carry we've seen on Perilla. I mean, who do you feel like is going to come out more decisively between the two? Do you feel like there's going to be some nerves, or do you feel like, what's the story for this duo lane at this point?
It's going to depend a lot on the teams for both sides. I mean, I think Forsaken especially, Jermaine's big strength we saw was team fighting, and that seems to be a big strength for Forsaken as a whole. So I think in the laning phase with Rom, we're going to see Perilla absolutely take off. Jermaine's job there will be to do what he can to survive and not fall behind and try to start fighting these big team fights here. So if he can do that, I think Jermaine will pull ahead. Otherwise, I think Perilla can absolutely take off in this laning phase and just go completely just go completely out of this world.
So it looks like these guys are all prepared, locked in. I'm going to throw my hat over towards Forsaken. I think that Jermaine's Hou Yi was phenomenally out of this world, and Mugao, having played Odin pretty much this entire tournament, I don't feel like he's going to all of a sudden catch the rust bug. So
go ahead, finish.
I'm giving this victory over to Forsaken.
Yeah, despite me giving the AD carry victory over towards Perilla right here, I think overall at the end of the game, the team fighting prowess of Forsaken will carry them through to the end of this game. They played incredibly well as a team, and that's what matters the most at this stage of play. And I think they can carry it through to the end again. And they're also riding a very good wave of momentum, whereas Poppy's gonna have to recover from losing a very difficult match.
Well, we're going to get set up into the game here in just a moment. You guys stay tuned. Thank you again for watching. This could be the final matchup of the finals of the Poppies versus Forsaken, but we also could see a game 3 depending on how it turns out. We'll be right back after a brief pause screen.
And we are live with the second game of the grand finals featuring Poppies facing off against Forsaken for a chance at some pretty major seed points here. Forsaken, last week's champions, and Poppies taking second place. Are we going to see a repeat of last week once again? Or do the Poppies have what it takes to push through the series, win this game, and then pull out another win in the third game? Or is Forsaken going to close it down here?
It's a very strong possibility. I mean, anything could happen in this game. Poppies could come in and absolutely dominate the game, but Forsaken has shown that they're very strong with the picks that they usually pick. And with Mugao and Jermaine not being taken off of their comfortability picks, you have to speculate that there's not much that Poppies can do wrong if they want to succeed. Now, I will say that it's interesting to see Alex MC move away from that Warlock Sash build that we're so used to seeing him on when it comes to his solo lane mages.
I think he realizes he's going to need some extra sustain here. He's going to need that little bit of speed to get him through once he gets it built up here. And he doesn't want to risk just playing a slow game here. He wants to shut out Mugao as best he can. And he realizes that Serket can become a big issue for him very quickly here. So I agree with the decision to move away from that one here, as Dalo takes a little bit of poker from fly to safety.
Yeah, and actually it's going to turn into just a bit more than poke as Bacchus goes in heavily for the aggressive play. You can definitely see which dual lane feels more confident, especially after last game. I imagine that Perilla is going to be a bit on the back foot for most of the early stages of the game. Dalo making his way over to the mid lane with Warchi. Warchi absolutely destroying the abilities needed to get the kill, but that might have spelled for a mistake by Warchi, as he is going to fall. Both Harper pods from both mid laners is taken out, and the kill didn't go to Warchi. In fact, it went over to the jungler Nemesis. So we'll see how that plays a factor as this game progresses.
It's going to be both junglers actually getting the first bloods of this game here. Forsaken got theirs on a fly to safety, whereas, like I said, Dalo ended up picking up on Nemesis here. So once again, Warchi involved in the first blood fight here. Looks like this left-hand mid camp will be split in a 1-1 trade neutral camp. Dalo also running the Wrath right now as well.
Yeah, we saw how well that did not too long ago. It did result in a Gold Fury sneak pretty early on a couple games ago. So A very effective relic to have depending on how much you utilize it in the early stages of the game. So expect to see some early Gold Fury plays.
It's a big enabling tool, and I really want to see if Poppies are going to try to use it for this early game push right here. So far, we have seen Dalo use it to make sure he secures his camp and to make sure he doesn't end up losing out on too much as he fights this one here. So I want to see if they will actually push it and get some kind of advantage over this Gold Fury, or maybe get some kind of advantage over the dual lane and then push it towards the Gold Fury. But until then, Perilla and David Arnaiz are sitting at half health right now, and it looks like Forsaken are able to bully them completely, but not entirely unexpected here with these lane lineups right now.
I would be really surprised to see if Forsaken's able to actually do a Gold Fury early, or excuse me, if Pappies is able to do a Gold Fury early on, because their dual lane is just getting bullied out. But over in the middle lane, the person who's getting bullied out is going to be Fly to Safety, who is taken out with a host of ultimates. Warchi actually achieving kill before the new wall ultimate was able to play a factor, and now she has no way to get out of the Odin Ring of Spears. This is the danger of trying to be a cross-map play team maker. And actually, Mugao was going to be taken out too as he went under the tower. Alex MC does perish, but he was at least able to do enough damage to make sure that he didn't get out freely for his efforts.
Looks like blood is going to be traded for blood this time around here as Forsaken. 600 gold in this matchup here, and Poppy getting some pretty impressive gold counts onto some major characters at there. Mogao isn't going to feel that one too badly, though, but it did go a bit too hard for that diver there. Ended up costing him his life, and now I want to see how he's going to react here. Alex MC holding a level lead right now, but that's not going to deter Mogao from trying to jump in on him.
Yeah, I mean, Odin still has the advantage right now just because Nuwa doesn't have an ultimate available, and he'll have his faster. So he's always going to look for an aggressive opportunity onto the Nuwa. However, he needs to pay attention to where Nemesis is on the map. Since nobody on his team has seen her in a long time, he feels pretty nervous about going in.
I think he realized that Dalo could be around the corner here. Nobody spotted Nemesis. You got to keep an eye on the dash. Will signal Mogao to run away here. Dalo realize it's not quite worth it to hold along and wait that long, and Mogao's going to have his wave shoved in a bit, but he should be able to farm still, and he's not going to lose anything this hour, it looks.
So good clear by Mugao. He's going to go ahead make his way back to lane. Meanwhile, Nemesis cleared out the fire giant creeps. Over on the dual lane side, this is the amount of a lead that the dual lane has. They're able to try and make an aggressive move on this red buff, and let's see if this pays off for them, as it looks like Bacchus is going to turn his attention over to the whole Yi. A lot of people making their way over. There's the I'm a Monster. Doesn't secure the kill, but Fly to Safety able to find it on the David Arnaiz. And Warchi comes in with the damage. Perilla up in the air. He's going to find a little bit more as well. Oh, Yi brings down the Suns. He's doing a lot of damage of his own. And now Warchi's in a bad spot. Jump use. There it is. Dive Bird might have set up enough damage. No, it's going to be secured by the Bacchus as Dalo finds a death over on the other side. Real Alex MC does come over and secure a couple of kills of his own. So a lot of kills going both ways, but at the end of the day, I think it's a 2 for 2.
It looks like a 2 for 2 there at the end of the day, he said. And right now the gold count is actually going to end up dead even at the end of it here. Forsaken actually down about 300, but looking at the graphs, it looks like that fight actually evened things up across the board.
It looks like it. Forsaken coming up strong in that fight, making sure they got something out of what looked like a nothing play. It did look a little bad for them as soon as Warchi got in there, but they still were able to kind of retreat from a bad circumstance.
They managed to get a little bit of something here, and one thing to talk about here, the scaling of these comps is something that needs to be brought up here. Which team do you think has the major advantage if this goes on for a while? As I honestly think that once again, this game has a big potential to go to the hyper late game, just due to the way both of these teams end up playing against each other.
They both have their obvious strengths and weaknesses, but I'm going to give it over towards Forsaken, just for the simple fact that Nuwa is a strong character, but not strong enough to fend off for herself. Like, Warchi's Raijin is going to be able to do fine on his own. He's going to have a lot of pressure being put onto him. But if they turn their attention over to Nuwa, it's kind of a prey mission. They're going to hope for the best. Speaking of hoping for the best, they're hoping to get something out of this bad circumstance, as I'm a Monster only lands under the support, and now it looks like the fight is completely turned around with Alex MC able to get the kill on the Fly to Safety. Raijin is going to back off as both the members of Forsaken are a little bit too low and a little bit too low on cooldowns. Hold on, there's some damage. Nope, not going to go ahead and pop the crush before Raijin able to use the teleport.
It was way too risky to keep that fight up right there, despite the health bars being so critical on the poppies right there. With Alex MC rotating, the health bar of Dart is incredibly low, and Tins playing an incredibly squishy mage. They need to back out of that one, and they did exactly that. They're not too far behind. They can afford to walk away, especially since poppies aren't really getting anything off of this early game kill. So at the end of the day, it's not too big a deal for them, but poppies more than happy to take whatever they can get here as they grow their lead ever so slightly.
So taking notes for a second here. It looks like the Nuwa is going for your typical mage build. It actually has the Shoes of the Magi, probably going to turn it into a Chronos pendant after that. And nope, corrected me completely. That is a golden sash. Don't know if that's going to turn into the Warlock sash. I'm actually interested to see.
I think there's enough time for me to go ahead and stack your hand. I think we'll see him go for a Warlock Sash again, unless poppies really want to like accelerate the tempo on this game, which we definitely could see them go for it, but I still think it's going to be that Warlock Sash we see pretty consistently out of Alex MC.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Genji's guard more than likely coming out of the Odin. So, dual lane kind of stale out, especially with the Warlock Sash more than likely being the pickup. Ethereal Staff would be a bit more immediate, but Warlock Sash probably the better option. Fly to Safety wants to make a play happen on the War Chief. Not going to happen anytime soon. And Gold Fury still hasn't even been thought about, even though one team does have the Wrath.
I think there's enough of a threat of reprisal from either team, though. And there's enough vision around the map here that poppies can't realistically go for the opportunity here. As now War Chief going to get aggressed on here. At the same time, Jermaine finds Parilla off in the duo lane. With Hunter hunting him down. Dalo actually might lose this duel, but no! He's finally got the final end of that trade, and he will get some support from Athena as well. But at the same time, Jermaine asserting his dominance a bit on his counterparts.
I mean, even forcing out the Athena ultimate is a huge win for him. Getting the kill and forcing that ultimate is no joke. Meanwhile, over in the middle lane, though, Bacchus is definitely going to die there. Not really much achieved on the flip side, though. Tins finds the kill, so that at least is something for what looked like nothing. Jungler for support. I got to give that over to the guys of Forsaken. But at the same time, if Nuwa puts any more pressure on this tower, they're slowly going to start to make a big impact from the soul lane.
You're going to be losing that slow game of the soul lane here, and that's a very painful way to start losing advantages here. Moga needs to start looking to find the extra farm here. Start maybe looking to try to put some extra pressure down elsewhere, as those rings have been the major turning points for Forsaken's fights in previous games. So I want to see what starts to happen for Poppies and Forsaken when he starts to rotate over, or if Poppies can manage to keep starting big plays without having Bogo involved. As that's a really good idea if they want to walk away with this game.
Middle lane, big rotations. Gold Fury still not contested. More division in favor mostly of the guys of Poppies, but they don't have much of a gold lead at all. So a lot of that gold is being used to maintain vision cumulatively and not actually getting itemization. Jermaine surprisingly still is holding a very dominant positioning over his opponent. I mean, even though he's on a comfort pick, not doing too hot. I mean, even right now, you see the damage just really raining down. Nuwa ultimate is used to possibly let the advantage go over towards the Rama in the AD carry matchup over on the left side of the map.
And I think in addition to that, the fact that Jermaine is getting ahead in these fights, with how strong he is in these team fights, I think we're going to see a similar story where the duo lane just doesn't have enough oomph in it as we move towards these team fighting and skirmishing stages here. Once the entire team start to get involved here, especially with how minimal any kind of differential is between these two teams right now, outside of maybe the individual roles and gold leads.
Oh, that is a 4-man rotation for a red buff.
Yes, it is. And I think they actually might get it here. Tin, although might get aggressed on here as Dart is in the middle of the danger zone, getting aggressed on by Athena and David Arnaz here. We'll see War Chief fire off that last shot from this Taiko drum, but no kills being achieved here. Poppies will force a disengage from Forsaken right there, but a lot of resources burned to force that, whereas Dart has only burned his ultimate.
You know, that's actually a very interesting mechanic that we didn't even consider, is that Serket has a moment where no matter what Raijin's doing, she can just use her ultimate and cancel out any damage that he would otherwise do onto her. He's basically basically a sitting duck whenever he uses his ultimate against Serket.
That's actually a fairly good point right there. That's one way for Vlad Safe to avoid a ton of damage in this, and actually start applying free damage like onto Warchi himself. So I want to see if we start seeing Forsaken take advantage of that a lot more, because I think we saw it a little bit in the last.
It just happened in the last.
Yeah, like, I want to see like what happens to do it more. I want to see like, do Poppies have any way to like deal with this, or is this going to be Forsaken's big way in?
I mean, that's probably what they were thinking about when they picked the Serket. They was like, all right, well, this is one of the small advantages we can take, as well as a couple of other things. And they saw the opportunity to leverage that, and they consistently do it every time Warchi goes up into his ultimate.
Well, it is going to be exciting to see more of this year's Fly to Safety. Simply sticking around, finding more of this. Gold at 12 minutes and 45 seconds, now sitting completely dead even here. Experience as well. Actually, a 2.1k trend in favor of Forsaken. Small at this point in the game, but starting to be a bit noticeable here. Dardas and Dalo might clash with each other as David Arnay is backing up as well. So a lot of posturing around the Gold Fury, but nothing seen just yet.
Yeah, Odin started to make his way over when he thought that there would be something, but they went ahead and told him to go back over into the lane to make sure that they don't lose the tower just yet. Didn't feel confident in making an aggressive play off the Gold Fury, and smart call. They need to wait until Jermaine does a bit more damage onto Perilla. They feel confident that he can make the play for them. Just allow him the time.
And that's a lot of confidence in the teammate, and that's one of the things that really shines for this team here. But Poppies have a lot of individual skill to back themselves up here, and Perilla can start making a shine someplace else here. So I want to see Poppies try to maybe reinforce him and get Jermaine off him, because Jermaine is absolutely destroying Perilla right now, especially now that he holds a solid little advantage in that lane.
It's almost a full item advantage, because you look over
and 2 level.
Yeah, you look over at Hu Yi. He went for the Light Blade after the Ickvale, whereas it looks like he's already got a Light Blade after the Ickvale, whereas Rama had to take a little bit of a lower approach. And Hu Yi hasn't even backed yet, so he has a bit more gold on his opponent than he's even spending. Actually so confident that he could just take the piggies on the backside while Rama focuses on the wave. Comes over to see if they're still there or if anyone's still there, and him as well as Nemesis will realize very quickly that Jermaine was able to take that freely.
And with how fast he's able to kill them, it's posing very little risk for him right here. But this right here, they don't even see or hear this, and Poppy's going to get a free Gold Fury right there with no contestation, no vision, and now they control the timer.
Maybe Hui heard it, but they just didn't feel like there was anything that could be done about it, so they let that one go. I mean, you look at the positioning of everyone else, there was no way they were going to get there in time to actually make a difference, so they might as well just go ahead and give that one up. Hui could have possibly thrown a Sunbreaker over the wall, but at the same time, he puts himself in he puts himself in a very risky position to where it's not necessary to do so. I mean, just go ahead, forfeit the Gold Fury, realize that you don't necessarily have to have a goal advantage on your opponent. I mean, rewind the last game. This is not too far off from the situation they were in, except Warchi was on Agni with like 3 kills. And speaking of kills, they might get a couple more here. The Odin Cage is used. That's going to be the Cicada ultimate, spreading onto quite a few people. I'm a monster landing onto Warchi as Odin dives under tower. Maybe he's going to get it. Yep, that's going to be a kill going over to Mugao. And Scylla in a lot of trouble. She is definitely going to fall. But can they find the revenge kill is the big question. Perilla is out of the fight. He's able to escape freely. Meanwhile, Athena is stuck in a bad spot. Maybe Perilla's going to go up into the ultimate. Yes, tries to find it onto Mugao. Doesn't find the last shot that possibly would have found the kill, depending on how quickly.
I think the shield would have saved him.
Well, it depends on how quickly he would have gotten it up. But is Hui going to dive this tower? It looks like he does have the damage to find the kill into Athena. It doesn't need to worry about that. I already got the kill into Perilla. And oh my goodness, so he actually almost got it.
That was incredibly close right there. As now Poppy is, despite getting a nice pick onto Tins in the middle of that fight, unfortunately losing Warchi to I'm a Monster so early on in that fight was just a complete disaster for them right there. And Forsaken
landed on Raijin.
Rampant. It landed on Raijin and it almost killed him completely right there.
Yeah, no, it did its thing. It just wasn't
like it was just bad. And it was just a bad situation for Poppies right there, especially. And we saw Odin able to get in there and finish it off. And the other person who fell was Tins, who was a little bit out of position for trying to go for Warchi there, but even then, he had his teammates in position in order to just completely respond as the Poppies collapse on him. So solid play from Forsaken in that team fight.
Yeah, I imagine that if Scylla had went a different build route, that probably would have been a much different fight. But the build that she did go is keeping her alive a little bit longer. She's only 1-3, which is probably a good thing considering how much pressure she's under a lot of the times with Rama ultimate, with the Nemesis chasing, with Nuwa ultimate. I mean, there's just so much side damage coming out that it's really difficult to see a circumstance. Oh, they're going aggressive here. Raijin forced to use the teleport over the wall. Just, oh my god!
Yeah, they're incredibly close here, but Jermaine doesn't care. Jermaine has his main focus right here, and that is his counterpart. He will wear Perilla down. He will take him to the grave as often as he can, and that's going to be another kill going the way of Jermaine here. Poppies need to back off. They know there's eventual rotation from the duo lane, and they know there's eventual. They just could push down the tower here. I think Jermaine's going to go for it.
He has all the muscle needed to push down the tower. Really, he's just depending on his team to muscle out any opponent from contesting him too heavily to where he could actually end up falling. Now, red buff is available. Nemesis has the vision on them attempting it. The question is how much do they want to invest in it? And a little less than optimal investment to try and stop it. Meanwhile, Hou Yi almost able to take out tier 2 completely. There's the meditation to keep him alive just a little bit longer. He's able to get out of a dangerous spot. Mugao finds the kill onto Dalo, and now the fight has completely turned sour for the members of Poppies as Forsaken picks them off one by one. Porchi already knocked out. Data Bacchus is going deep to try and ensure a kill for his teammates. There's Ramos shooting the ultimates, does find Tins, but it's not going to matter too much as he's going to be taken out into Phoenix's bear.
That could be game, actually. That could be game, actually. There's 15 seconds on Dalo. I don't think they're going to go for it. It's a bit too risky, and they don't have minions, so it probably will just be the Phoenix and a back off here. But
yeah, there's 8 seconds to Nemesis. Yeah, there's a lot of factors against them if they want to try that, but I do think the Phoenix is a huge play for them. Just that's been the story of the matchup between these two, is that Poppies will do relatively well in the early stages of the game, and then they're not able to get much after that. Mid to late game, they just seem to falter in certain areas.
It's like their mid to late game shot calling is lacking somewhat in some stages here. I'm not sure if it's like in the team fight skirmishing or if it's in those actual like small scale skirmishes or the calls for objectives, but somewhere there's something just falling short in the stage here as safety will nearly catch somebody out of position here. Darda gonna miss his body slam onto Dalo right there, so they're gonna be able to get out of this one just fine and dandy here. The individual skill of Poppy isn't really in question here, so I really want to see what it is that they need to fix here.
Odin's going to start pushing down on the right side of the map. The rest of his teammates push down on the middle. A constant push needs to be had by the members of Poppies on the left side of the map. Otherwise, fire creeps are going to start pouring into the Titan pit, and then you could really start to talk about a potential for a GG moment. But the team fight does look to be the goal of the members of Forsaken as they have split up the team entirely. Already off the bat, Jermaine is taken out, one of the main damage dealers. Serket taken out as well. I Know Monster does land onto the Raijin. He's going to be taken down. And oh man, it doesn't look like Forsaken feels as confident about this fight as they did at the beginning. Scylla already used the ultimate. She's at the far backside of the fight. Bacchus trying to dissipate this fight a little bit. Crush lands for quite a bit of damage. Rama feeling confident, rolls under the tower, really finds the kill onto the Bacchus as he is able to survive just by using the lifesteal.
Yeah, he's doing a great job there, and Perilla looks like he really wants to earn his name back this game. Rolling in deep, fighting these shots. Oh, this is bad. Here comes Mogale now. Tins was the bait, and it looks like it's going to be hook, line, and sinker. They're going to get Tins, but actually they may just get out completely here. A good retreat from Perilla. Gets that lifesteal despite Mogao coming from the flank. Poppy's going to get away with murder here from the looks of it. And Mogao does ring out Arneas, but there's no way he's catching Alex MC, especially with the beefiness he has in his court right there. Poppy completely walking away with this one.
Downside for Forsaken, Poppies was able to put out a lot of pressure, get a couple kills. Good side for Forsaken is that the Phoenix, or the lane with the missing Phoenix, is still pushing into the base, and Poppies weren't able to take the tier 1 mid tower. And in fact, looks like the members of Forsaken were almost able to take the tier 1 over in the middle lane.
That's a fairly solid go for them here. Is now Forsaken trying to group up once again here. Poppy's group is 4. They're showing some team fight potential here, and they can make it happen. A great top from David Arnaiz actually sets things off to an incredible start here. Darda needs to back away completely. Warty looking to rain the drum shots in, and they will force Fly to safety low. An incredible response from Alex MC. It looks like they're actually turning this fight on its head. Mogan forced to ulti to keep his team safe. He will secure a disengage for one person right there, but that's going to be the Poppies looking to get aggressive on these middle towers, and they should actually start pressing them in, start taking tower pressure. Another taunt from David Arnaiz, getting this fight going here. Tin's going to arrive here as Darda gets a massive dance combo over there. Warchi Sanctuary out to safety as Jermaine going to fall to him, and Warchi survived, sanctuaring away the monster here as Tin couldn't quite land down the damage for that one. As Poppies, they're once again clawing things back to a dead even. We're going to see another kill here, but he's unfortunately going to shoot a little bit too far. Tin took cover out of vision there and will be safe and sound here. But Poppy, they're nowhere near done. They're nowhere near out. They can never count this game over just yet.
They still have a bit of an uphill battle. They've gotten a couple of good streaks of fights, but now they need to consistently do so. They have been taking out the Hou Yi very early on in the fight, and that's been their saving grace every single time. Because he's died so early on, there's not really much else to be done. And Serqet has actually also been a liability for the members of Forsaken in certain aspects. She hasn't been able to securely get off her damage. So change a couple of those factors and Poppies might be in a bit of trouble, but for right now, they're doing an excellent job of surviving when they need to. Part of that is because Nemesis has such a tanky build. They have really relied on her tankiness and Nuwa's Nuwa's just brunt damage to set up a lot of these fights.
It combos incredibly well with Warchi's damage right there. It's a lot of guaranteed AoE damage here. Followed up by Warchi right there as a massive bit of damage comes out as Dalo bursts through the quick shot of Tin. Tin's is kiting very well to the Psycho Drum. Looking to secure that last kill here, but it's the Alex MC who locks it down. Poppy's just going completely off right now, and they're not going to be stopped at all. Darda's going to fall. Alex MC picks up a double kill as Poppy look to press on through. Dalo on the rush and Jermaine on the run. They're going to be grouped right inside this tier 2 tower. Perilla pushing forward, looking to once again earn his name back, and earn it back he has, as the first tier 2 tower for the Poppies will fall, and they're going to keep pushing down the mid lane. They want to take a Phoenix of their own here, but Mogao can do a good job of blocking it here. Jermaine gets the Sunbreaker going here, but Perilla and friends already up and out. Jermaine is diving on into David Arnaiz, but it's way too deep. Alex MC going to tear him to shreds, and now they're getting more kills on the Phoenix. It looks like Forsaken's trying to force issues. They just can't pull off it. Fly to safety gonna fall, and that's a guaranteed Phoenix for the Poppies.
I'm so confused as to why Jermaine jumped into that hell pit. I mean, there was just so many damage opportunities that he just was way too greedy for a kill there. He's been doing such a sound job of 1v1ing his opponent, but now he's making subtle mistakes that have led to his instant death.
Very weird so far. I think he's trying to get really over-aggressive. And for once, the shot calling of Forsaken is actually it's falling apart for them here. They're going very aggressive, trying to force the issue, trying to get kills. It seems like they're actually kind of desperate for some reason, and I'm not sure why, but those consistent, desperate mistakes have brought them down to a 3K gold deficit.
A lot of instances where you question whether or not Forsaken is starting to lose a little bit of their constant calm mind, but Fire Giant is going to be started up and probably completed by Poppies, as nobody on the side of Forsaken is there or ready for it. This is the same kind of composure that we saw out of Poppy's last game in getting that objective, and there it is. There's the Raikou drums as he's setting up quite a devastating fight. Odin not able to do enough to disengage for his team, as Scylla is forced to use I'm a Monster to get out, and the ultimate from Serqet just to pull some people off of the teammates. Bacchus still had to sacrifice his life for his teammates.
They've gained that calm composure. They've gained everything they need. It's like suddenly a switch went off in their mind, and now they've got complete control of themselves, complete control of the map, and they are beating Forsaken at their own game consistently. David Arnaiz going in aggressive. Warchi about to start the slaughter here as Mogan Well, they might actually start tracing around. Warty's incredibly low. A good fight for Forsaken so far, but they've already lost so much in this one here. Crush doing a lot of damage here, but Jermaine will be the one to find Dalo instead. He's incredibly low, looks to attack Alex MC. That's a ton of damage, 300 a shot right there. But Warty obliterates Fly to safety before he can make the pick there. A nice bit of damage boosting from the team as well, and the Poppies will make their way out of this one without losing too much. But Forsaken lose 2 Phoenixes and fly to safety at the end of the day.
But that's still a slight reprieve for the members of Forsaken, because that was a Fire Giant team, and they still were able to hold out somewhat and get some kind of a fight in their favor. Forsaken has held onto this game narrowly, but one more team fight loss, and they easily lose this game. They're going to need a big play out of their Hou Yi and Serqet if they want to pull something out here, because Scylla has not hit her stride even now, 27 minutes into the game.
Tables just isn't really bringing the damage to the table, and now Athena has a really easy shot here. Sanctuary may buy enough time. No! It wears off right as Warty's final shot waves on through, and that could be the pick that Poppy's really want right now. And they're just going to actually look to press through this final set of towers. I don't think Forsaken can effectively defend them here as the Poppy completely taking off.
Oh, man. So they have a little bit of time because the enemy team will have to push through these last towers on the map. But after that, they still have to deal with the fact that Firemans are pouring in on 2 sides of their base, and they need to find a defense over at this Phoenix.
They need something, anything right now to staunch the bleeding. Anything to slow down the pace of the Poppies right here. The Poppies have turned into an unstoppable war machine, it seems. Dardes now poked out alone. David Arnay is setting up so many kills with these taunts right here as Perilla locks him down. And it seems like this time Perilla's the team fight monster as he's running rampant here. And all in all, Poppy, they've got the 3 Phoenix advantage, pushing onto the Titan. Sunbreaker will force things away just long enough, it seems, but just waiting for that Phoenix here, and now there's nothing in their way. They've got fire minions pouring in from all sides. David Arnay wants to start the fight here. They're raining damage onto the Titan here. This could be a good game. We're seeing one final Hail Mary from Forsaken, but it doesn't matter. The pass is intercepted. Poppy's going to take down Forsaken in game 2. We're going to game 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Really surprised to see how much of an impact Nuwa actually had. I mean, because the members of Forsaken were so far behind, nobody could actually pressure Nuwa. She was free to do as much damage as she needed to. And this is kind of the trade-off that you see from mages if you go for Warlock Sash as a second item as opposed to a Book of Thoth sometimes. I mean, you can make the same argument for Nuwa, but Nuwa always held consistent high farm and high sustainability for herself. She just had so much player damage alongside Warty. It was really difficult for Scylla to keep up.
And unfortunately, Scylla just couldn't deliver the damage they needed. At any point in the match, Tins seemed to constantly be on the back foot. He was getting pressured a lot, and he had to build defensively, but it just didn't matter in the end. He was only dealing about 800 damage, whereas we saw Nuwa combos come out for entire health bars. Riot dropped people with about 700 a hit per hit on his ulti. It was massive amounts of damage coming up at the time that Tins even managed to dent people, and unfortunately it just kind of fell apart from there. Same goes to Fly for safety. Serqet did not seem to work out at all for what Forsaken wanted, and it sucks, but next time they gotta have something ready to go. As the Poppies, they've shown they're not going down without a fight, and they've got a legitimate and realistic chance at running away with the series in game 3.
I realistically think that Forsaken is not comfortable in some of the picks that they were put on entirely. I mean, we did see Tins do decent with Scylla not too long ago, if I remember correctly. But Fly to Safety, I don't remember him playing Serqet that much. I could be wrong on that notion, but again, just taking it to game 3, really interested to see how these picks and bans are going to go.
Well, we have one final game for these teams to adapt. Who is it going to boil down to? Will the Poppies make the comeback and take it in a 2-1? Or can we see the Forsaken team take back their championship title and hold on to it in the final game of the series? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the final action of the day. This is the Tier Monster and Hi-Rez Challengers Cup. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.